Man, what's up, man? We was all right, man. We was rolling, man. We was rolling good money for a second. Then it just hit us with the ooh wop. It hit us with the ooh wopskity. Hey, glad y'all falling back in. And I'm a little upset, man, because I didn't even get to read most of the comments. I was trying to get back to some of the comments, so I'm I'm gonna let y'all chime back in. Sorry for the people that asked questions that I didn't get to. When the topic is hot, you get hit with the want want. Man, they hit me with the want. They said, "Get up out of here. Get that brother up out of there." They said, enough of that, man. Enough of that. You know what I mean? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening with y'all? We back in. We back in this thing. We back in this thing. This thing. One time for the one time. Article 3 in the Constitution states consular court, it's legit. Oh, whoa, oh. So we're talking about the Article 3 of the Constitution. Okay. All right. It's legit. See, my thing is, I never said that the idea or the concept of a consular court isn't legit. What I am saying is that the people that are using that tactic, I don't believe they are genuine. I don't believe they are sincere in uplifting humanity, in, you know, standing on the principles of love, true peace, freedom, and justice. I don't believe that they are legitimately interested in helping push this movement forward. The Moorish Divine and National Movement, that is. That's what I'm saying. No, and see, perfect. I like that right there. Hold on 1 second. Consular courts are just another means of representation for Moors, at least until the temples get it together. Hold on. That is the problem. That's exactly, see, that is at the core of it. That's what I'm getting to. The temple has a problem. The temple has been infiltrated. The temple isn't active. The temple is corrupted. The temple is a 501c. Put all that in the same bucket, right? So because the temple isn't doing this, that, and the third, we are going to go create something over here as a different means to represent Moors. And that, sister, who was that? Rochelle, that is the issue. We don't need to go over there and build something new. We don't need to go over that way and try a different angle, see if we can get in the back door. We don't need to sneak up top on the roof and try to come down through the chimney. No. Excuse me. We would like, as a nation, to speak about the Supreme Grand Council for the Moorish Science Temple of America. Let's have this national discussion. Let's bring awareness to this group, because until we get that part right, we will not be successful. We will not be able to move forward. That's how we address it. We don't avoid the issue. That's where I'm coming from with it, sister. Okay. And here's another thing. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Green Coyote Bay. Understandable. And those Moors who had information on the SGC, the Supreme Grand Council, but doesn't speak on it, should be charged with treason against the nation. Man, I don't even know if it's treason. My concern is not even so much in trying to charge people. You know, my concern is about us correcting ourselves and moving forward, uplifting fallen humanity. Are there people in the movement that are doing things that are incorrect? Are the officials? Yes, the people that knew about the Supreme Grand Council and refuse to speak on it, they're in the wrong. Treason, embezzlement, whatever, that is the side point. The main focus is, let's get this thing active. Let's clean out the stuff that doesn't need to be there. Let's appoint or put people back into these seats, and let's get the car started so we can go on our journey. You know what I'm saying? I do hear you, and initially I was very frustrated and upset, and I to a point I still am in some respects, but that ain't gonna solve our issues. You know what I mean? That's the one thing that I realized. And with some people, with some Moors, I see with Cujo and with other Moors, I think they're missing the point, and they're getting in their feelings, and they're getting upset with me because I'm calling the fact out that they haven't been addressing it. But it's not to call them out, to demean them, or to try to cast blame, to say, you guys are bad Moors, da 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 da, and so what you did doesn't count, or you're just completely against the nation. It's the fact that we got to get right, and we can't ignore when we make mistakes. We can't just try to hold everyone else accountable and not ourselves. That's hypocrisy. And bigger than hypocrisy, when other people look at us, they'll see it. Okay, it's not it. The thing is, if we don't address it, it looks even worse, because we're supposed to stand on these principles. Love. What was the second one? Oh, I'm having a blank. What was this? Truth. You feel me? We got to be truthful. To get your Moorish ID, do you go to the Supreme Grand Council? Great question. Great question, sister. I get a lot of people asking me. I do ask me yesterday, can I get my CDLs with my Moorish ID? And then got another person, I've been studying this for 10 years and I'm ready to proclaim. How do I go about getting my ID? I got another person to ask me, well, I seen RV Bay has one, and this other guy, Judah son, has one, and it's a bunch of different IDs. So who do I trust, Rami? Another guy says, well, you got to go to the temple and you got to be a member of the temple first and praise Allah and say Islam 5 times and pay your dues before you can get a nationality card. Which one is the right one, Rami? Who do we trust? Then there's another guy that says, don't even worry about it, just make your own. I'm a Moorish. I self-law master. And since I self-law master, I could do what I want. But do you see the issue? Now we all over the place, man. And that don't make no sense. It don't work like that as a nation. Okay, if we really talking about being a true nation, it doesn't work like that. To get clarity, to get an answer that we all are supposed to follow, all is the guidelines for us as a nation. The Supreme Grand Council is who would address this. They would address this issue, make it very clear for the record in law. They would communicate it to the grand body, to the leaders of the different temples around the nation. Those leaders, those grand sheiks, those officials of the temples would then communicate it to all the people in the temples and outside the temples. And that's how we will move forward, organized with unity in law. But we can't do that until we have a Supreme Grand Council. And we can't have a Supreme Grand Council until we start talking about it. Hence me making the videos. Let me see if I can get some more questions. Here we go. Sorry about that. Oh, Marvin Johnson. Marvin Johnson. Hey, right there. Hold on. Marvin Johnson. We are going to address that right now. What you have to understand is that you, as a Moor, have power. Marvin Johnson quote. I'll be right back, Marvin Johnson. Let's hold that thought, Marvin Johnson. Don't go nowhere. Don't you go nowhere, Marvin Johnson. Marvin Johnson. You still with me, Marvin? Are you still with me, Marvin Johnson? We got some things to discuss, Marvin Johnson. Hold on now. Oh, man, Marvin Johnson. We can't let you off the hook like that, Marvin Johnson. No, Mr. Marvin Johnson. Man, I wish I had the other one, but this one gonna have to do for right now, Marvin Johnson. Let me see if I can find it, Marvin Johnson. Hold on now, Mr. Marvin Johnson. Hold on, Mr. Marvin Johnson. What you have to understand is that you as a Moor have power. Mr. Marvin Johnson. You as a Moor have power. Hold on, Mr. Marvin Johnson now. I have something that I want to read to you, Mr. Marvin Johnson. If I can just find it, 1 second, Marvin Johnson. Oh man, I don't know if I can find it, Marvin Johnson. I wanted to quote it exactly so I wouldn't get it wrong, Marvin Johnson. But I don't have the book that has my notes in it, Mr. Marvin Johnson. Hold on, we gonna get there. There it goes. Boom. If you would kindly open your books to where we at? The Quran Circle 7, the Quran for the Moorish Science Temple of America. If you would kindly open that book up to chapter 7. The chapter is the friendship of Jesus and Lamas. Jesus explains to Lamas the meaning of truth. Kindly open that book up for me, would you, Mr. Marvin Johnson? And then we're going to go on down. We're going to come on down now to line 12. We'll start from there, Mr. Marvin Johnson. All right? And Jesus said, man is the truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Man is the breath made flesh, so truth and falsehood are conjoined in him. And they strive, and naught goes down, and man as truth abides. And then line 14, again, Lamas asked, and what do you say of power? Marvin Johnson, are you listening, Marvin Johnson? Are you listening, Marvin Johnson? Come on now. Chapter 7, line 14. Here we go, Marvin Johnson. And Jesus said, it is a manifest. It is the result of force. It is but naught. It is illusion, nothing more. Force changes not, but power changes as the ethers change. You hear me, Marvin Johnson? Do you hear me, Marvin Johnson? It's an illusion. Come on now. Come on now. Let's get that study, Marvin Johnson. Now we're getting back to focus because it's not about power, all right? This is why you got to study. And that's a bigger point. I did that mainly, one, to correct him because he said you as a Moor have power, but power is an illusion. It's nothing. It's force. That's what's really behind, quote unquote, power. But the bigger point is don't believe what people say. You see, Marvin Johnson just typed that in the chat. And if you didn't study, if you didn't know better, you'd be like, yeah, Moors, we do have power. And then you sound silly because if someone else is studying, then they'll just be like, well, in your book, it says the power is an illusion. So what are you talking about? You feel me? And you can expand that to all the areas that we're speaking about and teaching about. If we're talking about enforcing the law, standing on law, and then someone comes up and they're saying, well, here in your book, it says that the Supreme Grand Council is the one that's supposed to be dealing with the law for Moorish Americans. Where are the members of the Supreme Grand Council? You see what I'm saying? You got to study. And don't believe what I'm saying. Don't believe what Jamal Flicks is saying. Don't believe what Cujo is saying. Don't believe what Sabir is saying. Don't believe what Taj is saying. Don't believe what people say. Study what Noble Drew Ali said. Look that information up. Research that information. Let me answer some more. Let me answer some more questions. If I'm Mustafa Abdul Mutakabir, I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. If I'm to follow what you are saying to its logical conclusion, then that means that no one else is able to proclaim their nationalities and that their whole ideology is based in illusion, and there are no temples and there is no hope for us until we get this Supreme Grand Council together. I appreciate that comment. Let's address that. And this is even outside of just more science. This is just society right now, especially in the U.S. We have a very difficult. We're suffering from critical thinking, and we are suffering from a lack of listening skills. You know, we do not listen very well. People as a whole. Now, I didn't once say that. I didn't even mention anything about us not proclaiming our nationality. Not one time. Run the tape back. Not one time. But for some reason, out of what I said, you got that. I don't know why that is, but I notice this often, that people will have their own opinion and they'll be listening to what you say, and they'll just take from whatever it is you say and just say, yeah, that's what he said. Or so basically you're saying, and just transform it into something different. Anytime you see people say, so basically you're saying, be careful of whatever comes after that, because it's usually their opinion of some skewed idea of what was said transformed into what they feel you said. And that's not the case. I didn't say that there's no hope. I didn't say that we shouldn't proclaim our nationality. I didn't say the whole ideology is an illusion. I didn't say that there's no hope for us. I said we have to focus on the Supreme Grand Council. That is priority. And proclaiming your nationality doesn't have anything to do, well, I don't say it doesn't have anything to do, but I would say for you to look up what the word proclaim means in law. Matter of fact, let's not even do that, because I always tell people that, and people don't be reading and doing it for themselves. So we're going to read it right now. Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Proclaim. We already know what our nationality is. Moorish American. Why? Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. Not because we're members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Okay? Not because we have 85% or more melanin in our genes or DNA. Not because of anything else. Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. And where did I get that from? Noble Drew Ali. Proclaim. Proclaim. To promulgate, to announce, to publish by governmental authority intelligence of public acts or transactions or other matters important to be known by the people. To give wide publicity to. To proclaim is to give wide publicity to disclose, to announce. To proclaim is to announce, to disclose. So to proclaim your nationality is to announce your nationality, to disclose your nationality, to, what did I say? To give wide publicity to. That is how we proclaim. Don't believe me, though. Look it up for yourself. I'll show you the book, but I still want you to look it up for yourself. See that right there? Proclaim. All right. Brandon, I can't repeat that. I cannot. But you can run this video back as many times as you need to once it's over. All right? It's right there for you. Eric Snow. Oh, snap. Was you down with Allen Iverson, bro? What's happening? What's happening, Eric? I'm kidding. African Americans aren't convinced that they're Moors because African nations don't recognize black populations in North, South America. Well, here's the thing. It's not about convincing people. That's the thing that we also have to get away from. This Noble Drew Ali said, if you can't teach your people that they are, I don't know the exact quote, and I'm not going to be able to find it, but it was something to the effect of, basically, if you can't get our people to see that we're not black, don't bother trying to teach or go any further. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it's not anything to convince. It's just a matter of fact. I was saying earlier, the difference between fact and opinion. The fact is, we are not black people. My skin is not black. Period. I'm not black. I'm not African American because Africa is a continent, America is a continent. And I don't see anybody walking around saying I'm Asian Australian. Let me see. Anyone else? Best music. I hope that you heard that, because you just said, been studying for a while. If any real Moor can help me with proclaiming nationality. If you've been studying for a while, then you should already know, because it shouldn't be that difficult. How do I proclaim my nationality? I made a video on it, but if you just break down a sentence, proclaim nationality. Look it up in law. You know what your nationality is. You know what your nationality is. Now you know what the word proclaim means. So now you just have to be active and do it. Most people are afraid to do that, in my opinion. I don't, Maybell, I don't know who filled out his death certificate. I think you're speaking about Noble Drew Ali. David Roberts, do you know of any studying Moors in Cleveland? I do not. Let's see. Brandon, that's another great question. Well, it's not even a question, it's a statement, but I would like to speak on it. Been trying to get 2 witnesses to sign my proclamation papers. Can I pay someone to help me? I've had a lot of people ask me, "Hey, Rami, can you be one of the witnesses on my proclamation papers? Can you sign as a witness on my nationality papers?" And the question that I always ask them is, where does it say in law that we need witnesses to sign our proclamation? Anyone have an answer? See, and this gets to the larger issue of procedure. How is it supposed to be done? Well, because RV Bay Pub, it says on RV Bay, I understand. I had the proclamation papers also. But what I had to come to a realization is there isn't a clear-cut process on how we document the proclamation of our nationality. There isn't a clear-cut process for us as a Moorish American nation. And why? Why isn't there a simple, very clear, just a little PDF document that you can download that says, step 1, to proclaim your nationality, you must. Step 2, then you must. Step 3, send this form. Then you, there is no clear-cut process. Why? Because the Supreme Grand Council is the one that will make that process clear. And there isn't an active Supreme Grand Council. That is why there's the confusion. That is why there's no clear-cut process. That's my stance. Now, if someone is willing to address the Supreme Grand Council, okay, then from then, hey, I got no more. I'm with you. Let's figure it out. Let's get it done. But until we get to that, man, hey, man, I don't really want to hear about the Moorish American Consulate. I don't want to hear about all the other stuff, man. Let's focus on that right there, because that's what Noble Drew Ali said. And taxes, oh, well, I ain't got to pay taxes, A1, the number. Y'all Moors know the number, A122141, all of that. Yeah, see, look at my receipts. I didn't have to pay shit. Okay, I got you. That's cool and all. But how does that operate as a nation? Where is the document that shows you step by step, how do I complete my tax form so I do not have to pay taxes anymore as a Moorish American? Study isn't a sufficient answer. With all due respect. Studying is important, but that is not the response that you are supposed to say as a nation to the rest of the nation on how do we go about this process. It should be very simple. 1, 2, 3, and many steps that we need, but it should be a very laid out plan that everyone can follow across the board if we're all Moorish Americans. And there isn't, because the Supreme Grand Council deals with taxes. It said, let me get my paperwork. Let me get the thing out, man. Where is it? Where is the... there we go. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, "Follow me and you will be happy." The Prophet also announced that a per capita tax had been voted in by the Grand Body and concurred with by the Supreme Grand Council during the second sitting of the Supreme Grand Council. Come on now. Come on, family. Come on, family. Don't you, if you're one of the ones that's always trying to figure out how to get out of paying taxes, I would think that you would want to address the Supreme Grand Council. No? No? Come on now. Moorish American Nationalist Hub. All roads lead to Prophet Noble Drew Ali's, the Supreme Grand Council. Well, it's not necessarily just Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It's the Supreme Grand Council for the Moorish Science Temple of America. But Prophet Noble Drew Ali was and is the leader. Let me not be going. Yeah, Levon, that was the number. Let me see. Matthew Jackson. Rami, what do you think about the information of the prophet having celts in the temples? Who were they exactly? Please elaborate if possible. I would say for you to look up what is celts. Just do some research. Find out for yourself. Don't believe me. Because whatever I tell you, I'm still going to say, go look it up for yourself. As far as celts, or what I feel you're alluding to, or maybe implying, is European people being in the temple, I would simply go back. Let me just read it. Man knows nothing by being told. We're going back to that Circle 7 Quran. The Quran for the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, or the Moorish Science Temple of America. Okay? I want you to get the book out for me one time. Please open the book up. We go into the back of the book now. All the way to the back of the back. Back of the back. Back of the back. The Beginning of Christianity, chapter 46. We're going to chapter 46 in the Quran, Circle 7. Do you got it out? Do you got the book open? Do we? Come on now, Matthew Jackson. Come on, Matthew Jackson. Are you rocking with me? Open the tab up. Open it up. Get your Googles on. The chapter is the Beginning of Christianity. Okay? All nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace. But there is one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days. And it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice being taught universally to all nations in all lands. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. So what is my stance on Europeans being a part of a temple? Absolutely. Well, why, Rami? Because it says it in the Quran, Circle 7. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice is supposed to be taught to all nations in all lands. That would include, come on now, come with me on the map. Not just North America. We coming on down Central America. We coming on down South America. And then we going to slide all the way over to Europe. Yes, Europe there. We teaching there. And we're going to go all the way through Russia and Asia. Yeah, we going over there. And we're going to come on back down through Saudi Arabia. We going there to the quote-unquote Middle East. And we coming on back down to North Africa, North Central, and all the way down to the tip bottom of South Africa. Yes, we is teaching all over the place, baby. Because in these modern days, everybody got to get these lessons. Cool? And I want to read one other thing, actually, now that it just hit me. Man, I hope I can find it. Hold on one second. Oh, man. I can't find it at the moment, but if you look in the Moorish literature, Noble Drew Ali speaks about the door of religious freedom being opened for all people, especially, and that being a right here in America. So everyone is free to walk in the temple and learn. Now, never mind. Damn, man, I wish I could find it right now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Look at a lot. In America, religious freedom is guaranteed to all under the Constitution. Hey, man, Hey, man, right there. In America, religious freedom is guaranteed to all under the Constitution. So if our European brothers and sisters, if they want to claim Islam as their religion, they want to practice Islamism, who are we? Who are we to say that they cannot? Got to be careful now. Got to be careful. Got to be careful. Carl Amaql. What if our nation tax us? Would you pay then? Yeah. that's the idea. Everybody paying taxes to their nation. Yes. This is not a sovereign citizen movement, Mr. Carl L. This is not a sovereign citizen movement. This is not a movement to get out of paying taxes. I repeat, this is not. Moorish Americans are not sovereign citizens, and the goal of being Moorish American is not to evade paying taxes. Just to be clear, for the record, on the record. You feel me? Melanin Beauty. Taxes should be paid towards our nation state. Islam. Yeah. Supreme El Bay. I'm still asking, where are Supreme Grand Council? Where are they at? Where are these people? Hey, Supreme El Bay. The question I would ask you, why are you asking me? You know what I mean? That's the thing. And, it makes me a little frustrated sometimes when people keep bringing the question to me. Well, Rami, where are they at? Why don't you tell us? Why don't you? I literally said in the video, the first one I made, I'm trying to find the members of the Supreme Grand Council. If you know, please let me know, because I can't find them. I'm saying it's my opinion that I don't think there is an active Supreme Grand Council. But it seems like people just want to avoid taking this issue to everyone else and keep asking me the question. It's sort of like Dame Dash, if you've been following along. People ask Dame Dash, oh, why you beefing with Hove? Why this with Jay-Z? Why do you keep asking me? Why don't you ask Jay-Z? That's what Dame Dash says. Why don't you ask Leo Cohen? Why don't you ask those people? I made my statements. Why do you keep bringing it to me? Similar. Okay, let's address this, man. K Zeno. Inviting Europeans is like inviting infection. Yeah, let's go ahead and cut this. Let's cut this one right here. How many Europeans are Grand Sheiks right now for the Moorish Temple of America? Come on, Zeno, talk to me. Anybody, somebody, let me know. How many? How many Europeans are Grand Sheiks for the Moorish Temple of America? How many have been since the creation of the Moorish Temple of America? So who's to blame for our organization being corrupt, not being active right now? We putting that on, that's who's infected our organization? That's who's sitting in these seats of Supreme Grand Sheik, Grand Chairman, Treasurer, Secretary, Governor? Is that who charged Noble Drew Ali with embezzlement through his paperwork and everything in his office out onto the streets? No. If you would want to find the devil, you need to look within, brother. Don't come with the white man as the devil. This is not that. We're going to end that right now. No more, man. Don't bring that this way. It says it in the Quran. If man would find his devil, he would look within, his lower self. And if man will find a savior, look within. It ain't on the European. Stop blaming the European. The enemy is not a skin color. It's our own lower selves. Our own murky ways dealing with the stuff that harms. Calling ourselves niggers. Treating each other, trying to finesse each other. Lying and manipulating each other to get money out of this movement. That's the problem. That's the issue. Word, Mustafa. My auntie taught me that when I was real young. When you point one finger at somebody, oh snap, you got three pointed back at you. Mm-hmm. 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 No, 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 no. No, 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 man. Don't, no. You didn't say that. You said it. You said what you said, man. Not, don't try to see that right there. I say that because if the so-called infiltration of the MST back in the day, what kind of positive influence have they decided to contribute? See, now that's you shifted. No, let's stick to it. You try to say Europeans is infections, as in there's some sort of illness. They are the problem. They are the issue with our movement. But they not in our movement, leading our movement, are they? It's us. Stop putting the issue on everybody else. Look at yourself. What did Michael Jackson say? If you want to make a change, address that man in the mirror. You feel me? Come on now, we gotta hold ourselves. This is what I'm saying. This is the problem with the Supreme Grand Council. We don't want to hold ourselves. You know what, y'all? We effed up. Guilty. We effed up. We should have been focused on the Supreme Grand Council. We haven't been doing it as Moorish Americans. Our mess up, y'all. We got to get right. We got to clean ourselves up. We don't want to do that. We don't want to take ownership for our mistakes. We just want to put it on somebody else. Can't do that. Gotta own it, man. Hopefully you're getting the message, man. Past the ego. I know sometimes it's difficult to just admit it, man, in front of people. So just think about it. You ain't got to say it in the chat room, but really though, take a moment, man. After this is off, reflect on what I said. Stop looking at everybody else. It's us. We scared. It's and see, I understand it, man. I understand it. That it can be embarrassing to admit I messed up. You know what I mean? Because in this era, in this time, it sometimes feels like if I admit that I messed up, then people will say, see, that nigga don't know what he talking about. Them Moors don't know what they talking about. You could just dismiss everything. But that's an ignorant mentality. I was really good in school, in quote unquote school. You know what I mean? I good grades, blah, 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 blah. I didn't get 100% on every single test in every assignment. Sometimes I got a 90. Sometimes I got a 92. Sometimes I got an 85. A couple times I got a 72. A couple times I got a 50-something. Sometimes we mess up, man, and we got to be willing to own that and accept that. That's how we grow. That's how we get better. That's how we improve. That's how we progress. I hope you hear me, G. dealing with the elephant in the shoebox. How do we form the SGC? Well, Mustafa, Noble Drew Ali already set that out for us. That's what I keep saying. Already laid it out. We ain't gotta do much figuring out. We just gotta get active. All right, Steve Jackson. If you say so. If you say so. You got it, man. You right. Let me see. Any other questions? Trying to scroll back up a little bit, see if I missed some questions. Ah, word. Oh, peace, Matthew Jackson. I didn't know you was a European. Word. I'm in garb of a European on this plane and have loved and followed the Prophet for many years. He taught me to love instead of hate. Praise Allah. Look at how that happens. Ain't that something, man? Ain't that something? Praise Allah, man. Oh man, that feels amazing, man. That feels amazing. Oh, I wanted to get to this. Because I said dirty Moors in the title before, you know. And this is something that I mentioned in people. I don't think that I clarified enough in previous videos. We aren't supposed to call other people. Well, let me just read it. And this is coming out of the Oral Statements and Prophecies of Noble Drew Ali. Number 192. Sister A. Brown L. of Temple number 4 and 25 said that the Holy Prophet said, if your brother does something wrong to you, don't call him a nigger. Call him a dirty Moor. And you may have heard me in a class before speaking to Cujo saying that it's wrong to call our people niggers. And I've seen Cujo in several different videos refer to our brothers and sisters who are Moors, but they believe that they're still black, or they believe that they're African American. And out of frustration, out of some anger, I feel, Cujo is calling them niggers, right? Excuse me. And some people try to excuse that as quote unquote tough love, but that's not tough love. It's actually going against what Noble Drew Ali has said, or at least is said to have said. And if we're thinking, and then I use my logic and reason, I say love instead of hate. If that brother is doing wrong, me calling him a nigger isn't going to help him be a Moor. Isn't going to help him accept calling himself a Moorish American. If we are Moors, if we are Moorish Americans supposed to be representing the principles that Noble Drew Ali laid down, following what Noble Drew Ali taught, how do you think it looks as Moors calling our own people niggers? That wasn't the white man. It wasn't some European that, you know, painted himself black and is doing this. It's our own people. And that is not right. We can't accept it. We can't try to dismiss it or disregard it as, oh, that's just tough love. No. That's harmful, man. That's hurtful. Because even if you're talking to that one person, imagine all the thousands of people, potentially millions of people that see that conversation and see us Moors with the fez. Let me get right. Boom, we get the fez on and we saying, Islam, Islam, praise Allah, and then in the next second we calling somebody that. No, man, we can't be that. Love instead of hate. So I just wanted to clarify that in case you may have heard me say that before and didn't understand where that came from. We're not supposed to be calling people that. And really, on a bigger level, it says very clearly that, you know, we should do our best so that our words, our deeds, and our thoughts do not harm others. Words. Calling our own people nigger hurts, man. Let's not do that. Moors in America. Hey, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Moors in America. Trying to find your, is that the question? Scroll up. Okay. Am I late? What to do with, Moors in America ask, what to do with people who are holding on to the split, keeping up the several different councils? When you say in holding on to the split, what I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, G. If you could kind of clarify that part, I'm not exactly sure what you mean holding on to the split. But what I can say is that what we have to do. Okay, I'll explain it this way. My strategy or my philosophy in helping us all wake up is I want to do my best to reach the people that influence the most amount of people, rather than me trying to wake up millions of Black people by myself or through my channel. If I can reach David Banner, if I can reach Brother Polite, if I can reach Brother Ben, if I can reach whoever, right? And they are Drake, if I can influence 50 Cent, anybody, Kanye West, Jay-Z, Jay Electronica, if I can reach those people and they can influence millions, then we can raise the awareness of everyone, and then that will make it much easier to figure this thing out, to get clarity, because everyone will be aware, and so that it won't be as confusing, and it'll seem like, well, this group of Moors say this, and then this group of Moors say that, and I'm confused. Because once everybody is aware of the information, then it's not easy to deceive people. That's why I constantly say, please look it up. Do the research for yourself. Because once you know, then I don't have to say, that person is misleading. Because the whole nation will be saying, that's incorrect. That's not what Noble Drew Ali said. Somebody get the page. Oh, I got it right here. You see what I'm saying? Like in the same sense that in Islam, with the Quran, when a Moorish leader, I forget the brother what their title is when they're teaching the class, but when a Muslim is reading the Quran, if the person messes up, if the person misquotes something, it's the duty of all the rest of the Muslims to correct that Muslim that made the mistake, and the Muslim that mistakes needs to accept the correction humbly and with humility. And I feel that process keeps us all in check, because if everybody knows information, then no one can mislead anyone, because everyone is aware and someone will catch it. So I use that same mentality in terms of the Supreme Grand Council and other issues, that if we bring the awareness to this council, what its purpose is, then everyone will be able to see clearly, hold on. Yeah, we definitely need to address this, and we'll be able to come to a resolution much faster, I feel. That's kind of to explain my outlook on things. Okay, boom. I know there are legit reasons for why there are different factions within the movement. I am saying, are you interested in bringing them together as one Supreme Grand Council? Okay, got you. No, because the Supreme Grand Council is already its own entity. The people that have created those different factions, if they want to be a member of the Supreme Grand Council, okay, that's something different. But it's not like we're gonna bring the what was that group? The Moorish American Consulate. We're gonna bring that group, and we're gonna bring Great Seal, and we're gonna bring I don't know, some other, Moors indigenous in America. That's just made up. But we'll just say that. The Moors indigenous in America group, the Moorish American Consulate, and the Great National Seal. If we can bring all those together, those people will create the Supreme Grand Council. That's a incorrect understanding. The Supreme Grand Council is already here. And there is a person, the Supreme Grand Sheik. Let me not even misquote it, just so I can be correct. The Supreme Executive Authority, excuse me. The Supreme Executive Authority appoints people to the council. So the Supreme Executive Authority, that person picks the people to be on the council, and then the grand body, the heads and officials and rulers, they agree, yes, those 7 people are, we agree with them representing us on the Supreme Grand Council. And then that is what creates the Supreme Grand Council, if that makes sense. If you want to read it, just so you can get it very clear, Moorish literature, just hit a Google on that real quick. Moorish literature. Word. Man, that's deep. So I don't want to sidetrack too much, but a lot of those celebs are looking at us, waiting on us to figure it out. I've had one say to me on the low, can't say who though, like they can't do anything because they have handlers. And that's deep. And I agree 1,000%. You know what I mean? I don't really like to get into some of the personal stuff about my life, but I've been around some celebrities, and I've been around people that are really aware of things. And I understand, the thing is that we could feel however we want to feel. Well, why aren't they saying something? Why don't they just, and I get that feeling, but I also have had to check myself and realize they may be in a difficult position. And, it is the same way it's difficult for any one of us to walk through our job or through the corporate offices. Like, check this out. Everybody in here is Moorish American, all right? You know what I mean? I want you to go through the I don't know, wherever you work at, you know what I mean? Walmart, Home Depot, you work in the office building, your 9 to 5, the corporate office at a cable company, whatever you're doing. The same way we don't necessarily just jump up and telling our supervisors, hey, check this out, yo. Everybody up in here that's so-called black is actually Moorish American. Well, the same way that we have to be a bit tactful in how we operate in this world, they do too. You know what I mean? And it could appear like, well, why can't they just say it? They got millions of dollars. But everything isn't as it seems. You know what I mean? Everything is not as easy as it may appear on the surface. And so I think that I agree. I agree that a lot of people are looking and waiting on us, which is why we really have to represent ourselves in the best light possible. And we really have to be organized about this. We can't just do whatever we feel and think that it's going to work. We have to go by law. We have to have structure and organization to this, and to be principled about this. Or else we will look like fools, and we will continue to be stagnant and continue to be oppressed, really. You know what I mean? Because that's the real issue at the root of it, is that we are oppressed. We are enslaved, whether it be via debt, our status, mentally, we are stuck. You know what I mean? And we got to get right, basically. Daryl Johnson Jr., Kung Fu Kenny almost said it on Fear. True indeed. True indeed. You know what I mean? Now, I thank you, Mr. Bay, for dropping that link in there. It's moorishkingdom.tripod.com/ID65. ... Click that link. That's the Moorish literature that has all the information right there. But thank you for the question, Moorish American, and that statement. You know what I mean? Even, I'll tell you this. I'll tell y'all this. Seeing Kendrick Lamar and how far he went. You know what I mean? He went up to the edge with it. Don't call me black no more. He said it. Now he said some other things after that, but like you gotta appreciate what people are at least willing to do. Same with Barack. You know what I mean? President Barack, former President Barack Obama. I remember at one point I was really frustrated, like, man, how come Barack just don't let it be known, baby? We get this thing right. But that man got a family. He has two daughters and a wife that I'm sure he loves very much. So I'm just supposed to expect him to risk their lives? Because you do realize, John F. Kennedy was assassinated, and then his brother was assassinated. So killing the president isn't out the realm of a possibility, and killing the president's family ain't out the realm of possibility. And when you look at revolutionaries, definitely been killed. So I can't fault that man for only going up as far as he could go. He at least put the Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People on the record. Let it be known. You know what I mean? But we gotta meet people halfway. We gotta do our part. You know what I mean? We can't just sit on the sideline and expect everyone else to just lead the way. No. We gotta be there too. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, we gotta be leading the way. That's the reality. We are the ones that are supposed to be leading the way. The ones that have this information. You on the chat. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Even the one that thinks, well, I don't know too much. I only been studying for like 5 months or something. You know what I mean? I don't really know, Rami. I'm a little scared, Rami. No. It's a reason why you know this right now. This isn't happening by accident. This isn't just by happenstance. But it's on you. It's on you to walk with that faith now. You can't just, it's a little scary now, huh? But you got to take that step and trust and believe and know that Allah is guiding this movement, and you're going to be all right because you stand on the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. But even in that, you got to also realize that you may have to suffer. That is an uncomfortable truth that I don't think Moors are really ready to grapple and really just eat that. You know what I mean? Really digest that. That walking this path, you may have to suffer. You know what I mean? You may get ridiculed. You may get harassed. You may get assaulted. You may get attacked. You can't waver though. You can't be scary. You scared, go to church. I'm playing. Let me see. Yeah. Oh man, I didn't even realize. I didn't see what was going on in this thing, man. Most of us finding out online don't even know about the divine constitution and bylaws that we already have. True indeed. True indeed. Zeno, KXENO. All right, man. See, and this is let's address this, man. I'm gonna address you, brother. I'm not sure if you're brother, sister. If you're sister, I'm sorry. But what I notice is I notice this often, in particular, when we get called out on something, instead of just owning up to it, it's like, I'm not just finna take that L. I can't. I'm gonna find something else that's wrong about the movement. Ha ha. Yes. So what about this? And then if you get proved on that wrong, well, what about this? And what about that? And what about? Listen, man. If you don't think Noble Drew Ali is a prophet, if you don't want to follow the guidance of Noble Drew Ali, it's all good, baby. It's all good. Do your thing. Do your thing. But this is what I'm doing. This is what I am doing. I'm a Moorish American. I follow the guidance of Noble Drew Ali, prophet of Allah, sent here for the so-called black people because we needed him most. That's what page I'm on. If you're not on that page, hey, it's all love, baby. Do your thing. But please, stop trying to slander. Stop trying to cause some confusion, cast some doubt about Noble Drew Ali in this movement. Please don't do that. That's no bueno. You know what I mean? There it is. There it is, man. Turn in your turban and fez. Return back to the state where he found you is what the prophet said. Hello. Talk about it. Okay, hold on. Hold on now. I see some messages here. Okay. I see. See, this is the thing, Mustafa. He said, well, I don't want to get into the whole conversation. What I'll summarize and say is this. Stop, respectfully, with love. I'm asking or I'm suggesting Moorish Americans, please stop buying into what people say because they had an impression on you, because you like them, because when you hear them talk, it feels good. No, it ain't about the feelings. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if I come off a little charming. And so, yeah, it's like, man, I like Rami. I'm going to listen to what Rami. No. Look it up for yourself, man. I could be lying to you. I could be a liar trying to hustle and scheme you out of money. I'm not. I'm just saying, and even in me saying that, you don't know if it's true, which is why I tell you all the time, tell people all the time, please look up the information for yourself. Look up what Noble Drew Ali said and then judge all the Moorish Americans, anybody, any more that's trying to tell you this is what we need to do. This is what we need to be. This is how we need to move. Judge any of those people by what Noble Drew Ali said. If it line up, boom, keep moving. All good. But if it don't, you got to be willing to address it. Case in point. Before I got into this movement heavily, I was studying Brother Booker T. Coleman, also known or better known as Elder Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. And that's KABAHIAWATHA KAMENE. Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. Love that brother. How he teaches, how he speaks, the way he He puts out the ideas. It's so easy for me to understand. All of that feels so amazing. Like, oh man, another episode of Booker T. Oh, can't wait. But the brother was calling ourselves black. And I heard him one time in a video say, more just means black. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. I ain't want to have to do it, but I did make a video saying correcting the misunderstandings. It's either Booker T. Coleman or Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. And I addressed it because it's not about how much I like the brother. It's not about how much I love the brother, how much the brother's influenced me. Same goes with Taj. If Taj were to make a mistake, I would be doing him a disservice. I would be dishonoring Taj if I didn't say, hey, Elder Taj, excuse me, but right here, we need to make this correction. And I know I've never done so, but I know that Taj would be, with no problem say, you know what? Excuse me. The young brother is correct. I made a mistake here, here, and here. Let's correct ourselves. Because that's how we have to be on an intelligent search for truth. So wise man once said, hold on, let me not even just play around with y'all. Let me not play around with y'all. Let me not play around with y'all. If I could find it. If I could find it, that's right off the top. You know what I mean? Boom. Ooh, boy. Here we go. And well, just keep in mind that this is being read from around the 1960s. America needs to understand Islam because this is the one religion that erases from its society the race problem. Throughout my travels in the Muslim world, I have met, talked to, and even eaten with people who in America would have been considered white. But the white attitude was removed from their minds by the religion of Islam. I have never before seen sincere and true brotherhood practiced by all colors together, irrespective of their color. You may be shocked by these words coming from me, but on this pilgrimage, what I have seen and experienced has forced me to rearrange much of my thought patterns previously held and to toss aside some of my previous conclusions. This was not too difficult for me, despite my firm convictions. Okay? So even if you have rock solid conviction on something, you just know this is supposed to be the truth and you standing on it. I've always been a man who tries to face facts and to accept the reality of life as new experience and new knowledge unfolds it. I have always kept an open mind, which is necessary to the flexibility that must go hand in hand with every form of intelligent search for truth. And that is coming from the man himself, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, better known as Malcolm X. I read that to let you know whether we're talking about the quote-unquote white man being the devil and how that's bogus, and you have to accept the truth that the white man is not the devil, whether that be accepting the truth that some of the people that we looked up to have been misleading us, whether it be accepting the truth that, what I thought was the correct way was the incorrect way. We have to be willing to change when the new knowledge presents itself. Okay, like I said, Mustafa. I would say if you were one that sees things clearly for what they are and what they appear to be, then I would just simply say, go look on the website for yourself. Go see on that top page where it has Taj Tariq Bey as the general. Then go find any videos where you see Taj Tariq Bey speaking as a general consular for the Moorish American Consulate. I would ask you to search all the information put out by Noble Drew Ali, the Moorish literature in that link. You know what I mean? the oral statements and prophecies. You can search the Quran questions for Moorish Americans. You can search the Quran circle, the Circle 7 Quran, or the Quran for the Moorish Science Temple of America. You can read the Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood of the East. Look through all of those documents and all of those writings, the Muqaddabin files, Sacred Drift, any book, okay, that's speaking about Noble Drew, and just present to me where he ever mentioned about Moorish Americans creating a consulate. Let's start from there. But what you will see very clearly with a quick search in the Moorish literature is the Supreme Grand Council. You will see that very clearly. And that they are responsible for all the affairs of the Moorish Science Temple of America. They're to supervise and control that. And the property. Factual. And I don't hear Jamal Flicks. I don't hear Charlemont Bay. I don't hear any of the people from the Moorish American Consulate addressing that. Factual. Let's see things for what they are, not what they seem to be. Oh, okay. Oh, my fault. My bad. Sorry, I get it. This, and let me just say, you know, I am really passionate about this in particular because I have dedicated and sacrificed a lot of time and energy to this movement in particular, and this isn't something that I am doing as a game or like notoriety or you know, I'm not playing around with it. So on this issue in particular is very important to me. And, you know, anytime I get the sense that people are trying to dissuade or dismiss this, you know, it gets me a little riled up. So my bad. Darnell Johnson Jr. When I just brought it up, all Jamal Flicks talked about was unity and moved on. Now, I don't know that to be true. I don't know where you brought it up to him or anything like that. I will say, if you go listen very carefully to the first video I did about the Supreme Grand Council, just look it up on YouTube. It's about 3 years ago. And I just chopped it up to get the answers, but it's a dialogue, a conference call between several different Grand Sheiks, okay? Several different Grand Sheiks from around the country. And none of them were able to give a clear answer. You know, they either, like Cujo was just like, I don't have an answer. Another guy got to speaking, you know, like metaphysical and, you know, allegorical with it. And, you know, I notice when people do that, oftentimes it's because they don't want to admit that they made a mistake. You know what I mean? Or they have some other sort of motive and that would expose them. And so they do their best to get away from that and get off that topic. That's what I've seen, you know, from my experience. And that's why now more than ever, I'm really standing on this because, you know, for a long time, I have had doubts about myself in this movement and, you know, what my role is, what I'm responsible for, what I should say and not say, you know. But the truth is, well, the keeping it 100%. I've been watching Naruto. It's an anime Japanese cartoon, Naruto, and it's this point where, like, you know, the enemies are attacking the Leaf Village, and they didn't kill his teacher and his partner's dad. They killed his partner's teacher and his teacher, and his partner is basically telling Naruto, you can't quit. You got to quit acting like a child, man. It's time for you to stand up and be the one to lead the way. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right. You know what I mean? Like, and I took that to heart because for a while I've been kind of, you know, waiting for someone else, feeling like it's not quite my place. I'm not an elder enough to really have a say so and things like that. But the truth is, man, we have to be willing, to walk the walk. We have to be able to lead when you know better. You know what I mean? Those of us that know, it's the duty for us to teach those that don't know. It's my obligation. If I'm not doing that, I'm letting down other people. You know what I mean? I'm doing a disservice to the blessings, that I receive from Allah for understanding this. So, I don't know, man. That got me off track. But basically, I'm just saying I realize that it's time for us to stand up, and I gotta do it. I have to do it first before I point to anyone else. No. See, you're saying the consulate just deals with the judicial arm of government. Where did Noble Drew Ali say that? For Moorish Americans, Mustafa. Where did Noble Drew Ali said, create the Moorish American consulate and they will deal with the judicial arm of the government? Just point it out, please. If you don't have a source, if you don't have an excerpt, if you don't have a link that shows this, then don't make that claim as it's a fact. It's an opinion, your belief, what you feel they're doing. But just because you feel or just because you believe that's what they're doing doesn't mean that is what's happening. It doesn't mean that is what we're supposed to be doing. You see what I'm saying? And we have to be honest with ourselves. Because when I look at the Supreme Grand Council, coming back to the facts, when somebody says, well, where does it say it in the Supreme Grand Council? They will be the sole judge, as in judicial, of what constitutes conduct injurious to the order, peace, interest, or welfare of the organization, or at variance with its constitution and bylaws. That sounds like the judicial arm of the government for Moorish Americans. That sounds like the body of Moors that has the duty, the responsibility for that. It doesn't say the Moorish American Consulate. It says the Supreme Grand Council. With all love and respect, man. Sheesh. I didn't realize it was 2 o'clock. Yo, I gotta do some laundry, man. Yo, keeping it 1,000% real. I did not know it was 2 o'clock. I gotta wash some clothes, man. For real. Not no BS aside. Like I got some other basic stuff to do. Let me wrap. My bad. Yo, that's funny. Let me wrap this up. How do we deal, Moors in America? How do we deal with the current situation where we have a few different Moors currently laying claim to the title Supreme Grand Sheikh, complete with a Supreme Grand Council? Man, that's a beautiful question. Thank you, man. How do we deal with the current situation where we have a few different Moors currently laying claim to the title Supreme Grand Sheikh, complete with a Supreme Grand Council? This is a crux. This is, and that question goes not only to just the Supreme Grand Council issue, but even the basic, which temple do I go to? Because you'll have some people who will say, oh, this is the only true Moorish Science Temple of America. Those other ones are corrupt. Then it'll say, some that say, no, we are the one that are in Cook County, so we are the only lawful temple. Everyone else, they are out of law. Or, and from the outside in, it's very hard to discern and to figure out who's telling the truth. Who is the right Moors that we're supposed to be following? I don't have a factual answer to say, I know this is how we need to handle it. My opinion, just to clarify, because that's a great question, and I don't exactly have the answer. My idea, or my idea of a solution, is that we have to make everyone, the entire nation, aware of our current situation and who is claiming what. And we have to make it clear, and not get caught up in religious feelings of Islam and the whole antics and rhetoric, but lay it out very clear, and then have a real meaningful discussion. The only way, well, not say the only way, I believe, or I think that we're supposed to do things like this at the convention. The Moorish Convention is supposed to be happening every year, September, October. I'm not exactly sure which month is the correct month now. I got to do some research on that myself. Anyways, my point is, that is the one time where we know historically that Moors were supposed to come together from all over the nation to convene and discuss issues. So I feel like we should take that opportunity and do the same thing and follow in the same footsteps. But in order to do that, it can't just be one person. You know what I mean? I can't just go, well, I don't want to say what I can't do, because those that say they can and those that say they can't are both usually right. But I don't feel it will be effective if it's just me and you and a group of people that go, you know, excuse me, we need to talk about the Supreme Grand Council. And then it's 50 or 100 Moors that are not, they have no intention of addressing that, so they just ignore us. What it has to be is us as a nation, everyone. It can't just be most people sitting back and just watching Moors in America do the video, or just watching a Seer Duke of Tears or whoever. It has to be everyone as a nation coming to do their part. You know what I mean? So that's my idea, just in theory, or the concept. But I don't exactly know how to deal with it. And that's kind of why I have been still, or just paused for a minute in you know, doing temple work. You know what I mean? Like this YouTube channel is IAMHH Temple. And, you know, I have a lot of ideas that I feel that can be executed and can be very beneficial. But I realize in order to execute those things, I need to be official. I need to have everything, all my documentation, you know, I have to, it needs to be in order. It needs to be by the book, in law, and done properly, ran properly. But in order for me to do that, I realized that I have to work to help the Supreme Grand Council get in order, because that, you know, the temple that I helped create is a subordinate temple to the Moorish Science Temple of America, meaning that it adheres to the main rules and guidelines and the customs and principles of the main temple which Noble Drew Ali set up. So if that temple isn't right, none of the subordinate temples can function correctly. So we got to go to the source and fix the source. I hope that answered the question. I'm not sure if it did. Moorish American nationality is not a get out of jail free card. Absolutely, 100% Moors in America, 1,000%. And Mustafa, what is clear, man, is it seems though you are avoiding addressing the issue. And this is a lesson that I want everyone in the chat to realize. And I'm speaking to you also, Mustafa. I ain't going back and forth with none of. Not, you know what I mean? Not that. But I'm not, that joke aside, when you have presented someone the information, the evidence, the facts of the matter, and they still continue to just dismiss it and just, not, but I just want to talk about, at that point, you just say, okay, do you. But I presented the information. I'm going to be going now. It's no reason to keep going back and forth and fighting over and over and over, because I've learned that most times those people are not interested in learning. They're not interested in conducting themselves properly and needing the correct information. Their goal is to distract, is to get your energy to entangle you in a debate. That is the goal. So whether you feel like you prove them correct or incorrect, if you keep going over and over and over and over and over again, now they've distracted you from moving forward properly. So I said it in the other video earlier, that before I got cut off, I'll say it one more time. If you are one that supports the Moorish American Consulate, if you are one of the people that are saying that you are a consular representative, member, official, etc. of that organization, that group, if you feel that group is the correct way to proceed, I would ask you two things. Please show me where Noble Drew Ali has ever mentioned the Moorish American Consulate in any of his literature. Number one. Number two, does this Moorish American Consulate address the Supreme Grand Council? If you can't answer those questions and provide some evidence that I can look for myself and see, well, my bad. Noble Drew Ali says very clearly, Moors, you are to fill the seats of this Moorish American Consulate and begin doing your duties. My bad, y'all. I thought they was lying, but it's right here plain as day. If you can provide that, please do. I ain't got no problem saying I was wrong. I was incorrect. If you cannot, then for me, I take the assessment as you either are ignorant and pushing your ignorance as if it is fact or truth, or you are very aware that Noble Drew Ali never said that, and yet you are trying to purposely, intentionally mislead people. And if that is the case, woe to you. You will receive your just due for that. And I'm humbly saying, please don't do that for your own sake, for your soul's sake, because Allah guides this movement, and people think it's a game. People believe that it's a game, but it is not. That's where I'm at with it. Steve Jackson. Did Noble Drew Ali write the Treaty of Peace and Friendship? Is that the question that I asked? Please don't deflect. I didn't ask that. I said present the evidence where Noble Drew Ali said it. Don't insult my intelligence. Mustafa, show me where the Prophet said that it is unlawful. Again, don't deflect. I said, show me the evidence where Noble Drew Ali ever mentioned the Moorish American Consulate. Can you do that? You are saying you are new to this. I've been studying this for about 7 years now. So I'm asking you, since you are new, can you provide the evidence? You made the claim. If you cannot, please be quiet. Go study. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but this is what I'm saying. Provide the evidence or please be quiet. Thank you. Any last questions? Any last questions in here? I appreciate everybody that's tapped in today. I want you to go back and listen to that first piece. Anything else anyone has to say? Any questions? Any legitimate questions, I should say. So is Jamal Flicks dirty? Kwame Strong. I would say for you, or for anyone that has questions in regards to anyone in this Moorish movement. If you're wondering if you have, I don't know, can I trust them or not? Should I believe them? Are they dirty? Are they trying to mislead me? Are they an agent? If you have that question, the way that you find the answer is very simple. You study the information in the words and the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. Study it backwards and forwards, up, down, back, right, left, all that. Read it over and over and over again. And then you go listen to said person, whoever it is, fill in the name. And then you take their statements and then you just look. Well, Noble Drew Ali never said. Wait, Noble Drew Ali said, why is he? Oh, and you will see for yourself. It's just that simple. Yes, very true. Moors in America. Some people, they want to create drama. But see, this is bigger than any one individual, including myself. Look up the videos that I've said. Pull up on all, man. Compared to what Noble Drew Ali said. Well, why is this? How is this more creating a hip-hop temple? I never seen Noble Drew Ali say that we could create a hip-hop temple. Good point. Good point. Can I respond? May I respond? Because I waited a long time. I kept looking. I said, I want to do this, but I don't know. Is this right? Should I do this? Is this following the rules? I don't want to be going against the prophet because this ain't a game. I don't want to do that. Why would I try to play around with something like this? Chapter 47 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Reading from chapter line 12. These holy and divine laws are from the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples of the Moorish Science Temple of America. They will learn to open their meeting and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And are you reading with me? Create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple. So, if you are in conjunction, and look up conjunction for yourself, with the laws of Noble Drew Ali, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, if you are following those principles, then it says in the Quran that we can create our own laws and customs, as long as they're not superseding that. Similar to how states can have their own constitution as long as it doesn't supersede the Constitution for the United States of America. So for me, when I created the International Asiatic Moorish Hip Hop Temple, it is very clearly off of the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Well, where does hip hop play into that? Hip hop is our custom, our culture as Moorish Americans. And so I would like to practice our culture within the temple. So what I'm saying is use the Quran, use the 101s, use the teachings of Noble Drew Ali to judge every person that you see that's saying they're a leader, that's saying this is the right way, that's saying trust me, that's saying Moors need to do this. Use the teachings Noble Drew Ali said. Don't use me. Don't ask me, is this person or that person dirty? You look up for yourself, read the information, do the work, and then see for yourself what they're saying. It's very clear. This is not a complicated movement. This isn't something hard to understand. All right. And with that, yeah. And with that, man, I think yeah, I gotta make some lunch. I gotta try to wash some clothes. But I'm gonna read this real quick before I get up out of here. Yeah. Oh, praise Allah. Praise Allah. Let me read this real quick. Two things. Let me read this two things here. The evil is a myth. These gods are made of air and clothed with the shadow of thought. The only devil from which man may be redeemed is self, the lower self. If man will find his devil, he must look within. His name is self. That's coming out of the Quran, chapter 3, Elihu's Lessons, the Unity of Life. That's for anybody that is trying to call the European the devil. That is not the case. I have some European brothers and sisters who I love very dearly, who are not the devil, who I don't consider the devil. And I don't appreciate when people talk like that because it's not correct. It's not fair. And I guarantee you, if we talking facts, that they have not met every single European on this earth. Guaranteed. And they have not talked to them. They have not talked to them enough to discern if they are devils or not. So you cannot tell me that all European people are devils. Okay? It's wrong to say that to people. And the last thing I want to read. I didn't have this one ready, but just bear with me for a second. Just bear with me for a second. Bear with me for a second. Hold on. Oh, I'll read this part. And this comes from the Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood of the East. Chapter 4, Yahshua talks with the rabbi of the 10 Commands. In the evening, Yahshua, which is Jesus, and his mother sat alone. And Yahshua said, the rabbis seem to think that Allah is partial in his treatments of the sons of men, that Jews are favored and blessed above all other men. I do not see how Allah can have favors and be just. Are not the Samaritans and the Greeks and Romans just as much the children of the Holy One as are the Jews? It's talking about the Greeks and Romans, aka European people. Just as much as children as the quote-unquote Jews. I think the Jews have built a wall about themselves and they see nothing on the other side of it. They do not know that flowers are blooming over there. The sowing time belongs to anyone but the Jews. It surely will be well if we could break down these barriers, break down the wall, word Trump, so that the Jews might see that Allah has other children that are just as greatly blessed. Come on now. And let me close out with the final one because that wasn't even the one that I was trying to find. Ooh. Here we go. This is a heavy one, y'all. This is a heavy one. I really want you to listen closely now. And this is chapter 7. And then a mighty master came, a Buddha of enlightenment, who turned away from wealth and all honors of the world and found silence in the graves and caves. And he was blessed. He taught the gospel of a higher life and taught men how to honor men. He had no doctrine of the gods to teach. He just knew men. And so his creed was justice, love, and righteousness. I quote to you a few of many of the helpful words which Buddha spoke. Hate is a cruel word. If man hates you, regard it not. And you can turn the hate of men to love and mercy and goodwill. Mercy is as large as all the heavens, and there is good enough for all. With good, destroy the bad. With generous deeds, make avarice ashamed. Avarice is Avarice. I gotta look that up. With truth, make straight the crooked lines that errors draw. For error is but truth distorted, gone astray. And pain will follow him who speaks or acts with evil thought, as does the wheel the foot of him who draws the cart. He is the greater man who conquers self than he who kills 1,000 men in war. He is the noble man who is himself what he believes that other men should be. Return to him who does you wrong your purest love, and he will cease from doing wrong. For love will purify the heart of him who is beloved as truly as it purifies the heart of him who loves. Return to the person that does you wrong your purest love. It'll heal their hearts and yours. That I say thank you. Much love. Please study the works and teachings of Noble Drew Ali, Universal Prophet. Yeah, love instead of hate. That's the way. That's the answer. That's the key.